The FBI come knocking on my door at midnight, night before last, asked me if I made anybody mad recently, and I said, well, I'm in the used car business. I can make a lot of people mad recently. And then the FBI person said, well, what about in the past? And as soon as they said the past, I said, ex-wife. And they go, you got it right, you got it right. It was your ex-wife. And then they told me that my ex-wife was in custody for a murder for hire plot to get me whacked.
When they told you all the details of this plot, I mean, tell me what's going through your head.
The part that insulted me the most is the fact she was going to pay the hitman so little money, and she wouldn't outsource it. She did work with somebody here in Kansas City. Evidently, they liked me more than they did her, so they flipped on her. And she should have took somebody from out of town, Chicago or New York, and she should have paid them at least 10 grand. 2 grand is not enough to get that kind of work done right. So instead, she get what you pay for.
So most people, you know, would say, I can't believe so-and-so is hiring people to kill me. Your reaction is she's not paying people enough money.
Right, because she's done terrible things to me already. She stole everything my mother ever owned before my mother was dead. She stole everything my family had. She stole 7 rental houses from me, commercial properties, and my antique cars, maybe buy my antique cars back from her.
You say stole, was that part of the divorce settlement?
No, before the divorce, she took my cars and hid them in another location, made me buy them back.
You guys got divorced more than a decade ago.
In '99, yeah.
And how often have you communicated since then?
Oh, I communicate with her quite regularly. Till the other night, she called me about 2 weeks ago crying about water in her basement. Then she accused me of burning down one of the rental dumps that she burnt down. And then she accused me of stealing, and I never stole anything from her. So I just quit. She made me mad. I quit talking to her.
So how surprised are you that she was behind this plot?
Not much, not very. She's done some horrible things to me in the past. I mean, Tiger Woods ain't got nothing on me. She's tore up my cars, smashed windows out, broke antennas off.
And what have you done to deserve any of that?
Well, I was having affairs. I was a player.
So you're saying that you deserve some of her...
Not that much, no. Not
to be killed, but...
Well, why involve an innocent antique car? It didn't have anything to do with the affair.
But she had reason to be upset, is what you're saying?
Yeah, she did have reason to be upset. But she was compensated well.
Was the affair the reason for the divorce?
I think the reason of the divorce, yeah, because I was having an affair, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so since the divorce, off and on, or fairly frequent communication?
Yeah. Actually, I let her take out a loan on my credit. I let her ruin my credit score by not making any payments on the loan she took out in my name since the divorce. I was trying to help her out. I felt sorry for her, and I let her borrow money on my credit, and she just let the house go back.
Why keep in touch so much with someone with that kind of animosity in your history together?
I don't know. I guess I'm a glutton for punishment.
So, describe Dorothy. I mean, is this something people wonder what it takes to go through with a murder for hire plot?
Describe her: psychotic, crazy, diabolical, evil.
So, no ounce of surprise in your body when you...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was somewhat surprised. I think she should have offered him more money, and it probably would have come off right.
How do you know what it takes to have that come off right?
Well, it just seems like at least 10 grand, I'd think. I mean, 2,000 is just not enough money.
What are you going to say to her when next time you get a chance to talk to her?
I'm going to take my 2 girlfriends and visit her, and I'm going to tell her on one side, I'm going to have 25 years of happiness left if I live long enough.
Why didn't you want to go through with this? Was to get some kind of life
To get the money. Yeah, it's all about money. It's all about greed. It's all about money. It was over $750,000 on one life insurance policy that she was paying the premium regularly on.
Now,
since the divorce.
Since the divorce. Is that unusual to have a life insurance policy for
I thought so, yeah. Mm-hmm. But she does a lot of unusual things.
So tell me what today's been like for you as this has made news.
It's kind of become a media circus, you know, since it's north of the river. They don't usually have things like that north of the river here.
You've just been getting calls off the hook from friends?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe it'll help my business.
What do your friends say about this?
Oh, they kind of suspected it, too. They're not surprised. They've seen her. They've known her for years. When I first met her, she was real quiet. Then she got more opinionated as time went on. And then the more she helped me, she just gradually took over in every aspect. As far as finances go, she just burned my money as fast as she could burn it the whole time we were married.
What do you hope happens to her?
I hope she gets a long sentence where she can just enjoy the rest of her life in jail. I hope she doesn't die, because that would be the easy way out for her.
Wow. So you seem, I mean, for a guy who just heard about all this, I mean, you seem pretty even keel about it.
I've already been through a lot worse than this.
You have?
Yeah, I've been through hell.
With her?
No, just life in general.
So, but you've been doing this for 27 years. You have some pretty interesting conversations with your longtime customers. Huh?
Well, yeah, and I thought, you know, maybe I'd done some bad body work or sold somebody a bad car, you know, when they first approached me about it. And in this business, you know, you can make some people mad once in a while, you know.
When the feds first came up to you, that's what you were thinking?
Well, I thought it was some runs in a bumper or a car with no oil pressure I sold somebody, you know.
Wow. All right, so what's next?
I'm going to go ahead and try to have as much happiness as I can with a new woman.
What did you think about when reading the details about, you know, coming in your house with the gun and, you know, maybe looking in the safe and all that kind of stuff? She had a pretty detailed map, apparently, of how things were laid out.
Well, yeah, she'd been in my house. She'd seen it.
What does she do?
Steal.
Does she still have
She steals.
these wigs and
No, she's been belly up for a while since I pulled the plug on it. I won't let her be in my building rent-free anymore, so she finally got off North Oak and just went into her house and did her business out of her house, which essentially she was belly up after that.
So she was hurting for cash?
Yeah, primarily she needs to steal. That's all she can do.
Do you think she did this more because she needed money or because she really disliked you then?
I think she just needed money. Money's the main motivator in most of these things.
Crazy story.
She's greedy. She can't make money on her own. She never could make money on her own, but she could always steal it from me.
Well, George, I think north of the river, south of the river, it's still a pretty crazy story.
Like I say, Tiger Woods ain't got nothing on me, man. I've already been through all that many times, all through the 80s and all through the 90s. She'd smash my cars whenever she'd get mad. She knew I was having an affair, but she just regularly tortured me for it for years.
How long were you married before the divorce?
30 years.
30 years? And you had many affairs during that time?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow. So you admit you weren't the greatest husband, but
I always paid the bills. I always let her. She stole 12 grand a month from me for years.
all right. So when do you plan to talk to her?
I'd like to talk to her tonight and have 2 women with me on each side and tell her I'm having a happy time. Me being happy will irritate her more than anything.